Will Soldier Boy return in The Boys Season 4? Soldier Boy was a character that quickly became a fan favourite in Season 3 of the show, whilst teaming up with Butcher and Huey in an attempt to take down Homelander, whilst also having his own personal vendetta against Vought and the rest of his former group of Supes in Payback. With his arc coming to a somewhat resolution, I thought I'd take a look and see if there was a chance that he could potentially return in Season 4 of the show, and also theorise about how he could make it back into the show as well. So let's get into it. Here is Will Soldier Boy return in The Boys Season 4. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. At the end of Season 3 of The Boys, we saw that the whole group essentially turned against Soldier Boy, and he was on the verge of unleashing his radioactive blast on the entire room, which had the potential of stripping the V out of the Supe system, but also most likely killing some individuals in there too, like Mother's Milk and also Frenchie. Right at the end, we saw the group defeat him, more specifically Queen Maeve, by pushing him out of the building as he emitted his blast. And then the last we saw of him was him being contained by Mallory and the team in a facility, where he was likely being fed Novichok, similarly to when he was contained in Russia. It keeps him in a state of sleep and doesn't kill him. This leads me to think that there would most definitely be a return planned in the future. We've seen just how dangerous Soldier Boy is on his own, and you'd expect the agents to want to eliminate him completely, so that they can avoid a threat in the future, but they chose not to do so. This could be one of a couple of reasons. We could see them now want to utilize what Soldier Boy has running through his veins that's now present there due to being tested on by the Russians, and what was part of the radioactive blast. They've never really found a way to unsuperfy a Supe, and with Soldier Boy holding it within him, they may start testing on him and then aiming to extract it from him, so they can utilize it themselves on Supes that they view as a threat, Homelander, and potentially his son Ryan if he proves to look as though he could cause a problem, which is the direction I think the show's going to go in. This could lead us to seeing Soldier Boy being contained and tested on next season, and that mainly being his sole purpose. Another way we could see Soldier Boy potentially being included in Season 4 of the show is by him being awoken by Victoria Nueman and him being utilized as a weapon as part of her master plan. We know that she has her connections, and with her slow and gradual rise to power and with her climbing up the ranks, especially with it being announced that she's been selected as VP under Singer, it may well allow her to have more connections that give her access to see Soldier Boy. We know that based off of the closing moments at the end of Season 3, the boys are going to be going after Victoria Nueman, which is a brave move, considering she's likely going to be the main villain of Season 4 of the show. She'll most probably need support in order to keep everybody at bay, and to provide more of a threat to the boys. Nobody knows of her true identity as the head popper, other than the boys, Homelander, and Stan Edgar, and she'll likely want to keep that as under wraps as possible. So by recruiting Soldier Boy, who she knows is extremely powerful, and will also hold a vendetta against the boys due to the fact that they ended up going against each other in the final episode, he'd be the perfect person to have on her side. It would almost be like what he did in Season 3, where he was seeking revenge on Payback, but this time it would be for somebody else with an element of hatred there as well. We could well see Soldier Boy alongside Newman and her daughter, who we know was given V midway through Season 3 to protect her, but she may well be far more powerful than we could ever imagine and be able to hold her own. In the early parts of Season 3, we saw Stormfront return following the events that happened at the end of Season 2, where she was severely injured, so it does show that the writers aren't opposed to bringing back a character if they've not been confirmed dead. The fact he was written in as Homelander's father shows that there is a great weight to the character, and a connection that will always be present if the writers do decide to bring him back. There are also elements of the stories in the comic book appearances of the character that were never explored. However, the show did drift away from the comic book with Soldier Boy, so I don't know if they'd necessarily go in that direction. I think there's a strong possibility that Soldier Boy could return in some form. He was a character that made a large impact with fans, and was one of the best characters to be introduced in the show for a long while. Whether his inclusion will be in a minor form where we see him just being tested on to extract the radioactive blast power within him, or being referenced by others about an extraction, or being recruited by Newman to aid in her defense against the boys when they inevitably go after her in Season 4 of the show, it's something I do hope that we will get, as I hope we don't lose out on a character like Soldier Boy just yet. So, there you have it. some theories around if Soulja Boy will be returning in Season 4 of the show. If you want to see more videos on the boys such as endings explained from Season 3, theories and predictions for Season 4, and character breakdowns, then click on the I button. Or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review next, then head over to my Twitter, @brainpilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. Do you think Soulja Boy will return in Season 4 of The Boys? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.